Tell us why. I'm not a spy.
Nah. What is it?
I'm just-
What was that? What was that?
I'm a lyrical master. Hey guys, it's Amesh,
And this is Asuva.
and this is our top 10 albums of 2020 video.
Yeah.
This has been a difficult task for us.
Yeah.
And
2020, I
though
think,
we-
has been quite a good year for
Yeah,
music.
well, not the best year, but a decent year for music.
Decent year. Shitty year for other
Um,
things. Decent year for me.
yeah.
Music.
And when we listen to music, though Siva and I, that we pick out a few things which are similar, we disagree quite a bit, which we don't put, which you guys don't see a lot. So we have different criteria for what makes a good album. Siva, what's your criteria for a good album? Is what to you?
Replayability. If it has a cohesive identity, if it feels sort of special and sort of unique. But basically, it's just my enjoyment. Can I just put it on and enjoy it? Am I working too hard to enjoy this album?
Yeah.
How about you?
Their journey does definitely make it a factor. Like the reason why I liked Chance so much was just his come up and his earlier projects. Like
You like The Big Day?
I said the
You
reason
like
why
The Big
I
Day?
liked past tense. Past tense. We don't mention. We don't mention hot. We don't mention the big day. That was not a big day. That was the worst day. Do I like the sound? Are there levels to it? Length of the album, is it mood specific? And replayability like yours. And I guess without further ado, let's put our criteria to the test. Let's get into our top 10.
Number 10, I have the slow rush by Tame Impala.
I knew it'd make a place in your list.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to be so low on your.
Yeah, so this is a classic example of hype.
Bro, you loved this album when it came out.
I rinsed this album. But I really like Currents, and I think that played into part of the hype as well. Let's get the good things in first. The good things.
Yeah, let's start with the good.
Okay. It has a theme to it, and that's time, and that he revisits it again and again. And some songs are they're so on point. Like Lost in Yesterday, I fucking love that song. Bassline and the percussion, it's so punchy. The lyrics about romanticizing the past go really
Holding
well.
to nostalgia.
Yeah, and I love the music video, even though that shouldn't be a factor, but I do like the music video.
But it is, it is a factor. Everything around the album counts.
Yeah,
and helps
exactly.
the album grow.
I think my favorite track on the album is actually Posthumous. I don't know. It's Posthumous, bro. That doesn't sound right.
I do like hummus.
I do like Posthumous.
I do like hummus. I do like hummus.
Yeah.
Okay, so your favorite track was
Posthumous Forgiveness, and it's like a 2-part track. He's put a phaser on everything, he's put a flanger on everything, like there's dreamy synths everywhere. It's all this ethereal vibe, but it's just really emotionally potent for me, at least, because it starts off with the first half with his him being like, I hate my daddy, to I wish my daddy was still here and I forgive him, and I get why he do those things, and it's just it gets me. And it's just, I feel like the whole album, it's kind of got, like, if you've listened to Currents, you kind of know what you're in. You're in for like a psych pop album, but this is a bit more disco-y, a bit more dancey. There are just some tracks that I can easily skip. There are some tracks that it's an hour long and I don't feel like it needs to be. It just has a bit of padding. It's overall still a really good album. Still enjoyed it a lot. Just not every track is as stellar as my favorites.
So my top 10 was Industry Games by Chica. Chica, I really didn't know her before this album. You put me onto the song, the title song, Industry Games, which put me onto the album. And like, she's this 23-year-old rapper from Alabama, and she got famous on YouTube. And the album's, it's like 7 songs long. It's a very short album. It's quick, easy to pick up. But the reason why it's in my top 10, because I feel like the come up of the artist is sick. To go from that YouTube platform into releasing an album, I feel like lyrically she's sick. Like her different flows, the way she can like package her raps.
That was what I was more hungry for when I was listening to that. I was kind of like,
yeah, like
she has lots of singy songs, and I was sort of like, I could leave that.
Like tracks like Industry Games is like the title track, interesting instrumental, playful and menacing at the same time. Kind of Christmassy, I felt like it sounded a bit tinny at the back. Not gonna lie. And her flow is just super, like it's super sick on that. The song I really liked as well, Balencies, like yo, it's such a it's like the only braggadocious like song on the album, but it works so well. And this whole album is her introducing herself, I feel like, to the real music world. I've arrived, I've got the crown on, you know, and God help whoever tries to take that crown away from her. And the track's bang, but like I wish it was deeper. The production is seen as pretty flat or basic, not super challenging, but again, I appreciate the come up of the artist.
Yeah, you feel like it's a start of something special, but you've only got a taster, I guess.
Yeah, so I can't wait for this second album for her to grow and give us something. But yeah, Chica Industry Games, number 10 for me.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Number 10 for me.
That's good.
So yeah, number 9, D-Smoke, Black Habit. Inglewood! Or as I pronounced it the first time to you, Anklewood. So yeah, D-Smoke, he's a rapper, he's like 35. He's from Inglewood, about 8 miles or so from Compton. So this album has got that down to like that Compton feel to it. If you like that old school NWA stuff, if you like his dog, then you know you're gonna like
you're missing the big person that he gets influenced by.
If you like Kendrick Lamar, you're gonna like this album. Like yo, his flow is straight out of the Lamar like Kenny book. But with his own little flex in it. Like if you're missing Kenny by from him not releasing music, jump on this album. Jump on this album, because boy, it starts off epic. Like with this kind of like morning prayer. You know this is gonna be kind of a life-telling album.
I do love how this album begins. It literally starts off with bangers. Just
the narrative is there. And bro, first track, Bullies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What happened to Bully? Bully dead. Bully dead.
Listen to the album. I'm not gonna go through track to track, but literally, Bullies, No Commas. Was it Gasper Younger? Oh my god. The list goes on with the epic sound of this music, like this, and he effortlessly goes into like Spanish and then back into English so many times. I'm like,
It made me feel, maybe wish I could speak Spanish, because like he flows so well between the two. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out on a whole different side to it. Yeah.
But you can still appreciate it for what it is. I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying, but
it's fine.
Me no hablo Spanish, bro. Me no hablo Spanish.
Fuego.
But it's number 9 for me because the energy of the album starts off high and then it trickles down until Sun Kissed Child comes, and then the title track Black Habits, and then it's just blank. And our rest of the album feels like it's side B. Like side A, this hype track, and then side B, you've got like the slower tracks. And I feel if you curated the album a bit more and spread the hype tracks around, I reckon this would have been a complete body of work that probably would have been in the top 5 for me. But because it wasn't curated, like, you know, D-Smoke stays confidently at one pace and one tone, and it's not hard to be memorized by his like lyrical ability in the album. If you want, you can vibe to it. If you want, you can dissect it. You can bump it in your car. You can, write a paper about it. And it's amazing. But there is this one point where the vibe just goes and your mind goes blank and you're just
I do feel like the flow, and I don't think the singy songs are bad. I don't think they're bad. They're just not as good as the hype tracks. And you're just all like, where'd they go? Where'd the party at? What's going on? Where's the aggression? So for my number 9, I have Clipping, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. They make sort of these experimental, abrasive, noisy hip-hop albums, and in this one, this is a second of sort of 2 projects where they've got taken upon like a horror theme. So it's like a sister album actually. So last year they put out Their Existent Addiction, which is like the first time they went full on to this sort of horrorcore, horror movie influenced idea. I felt like it was good. It had good moments, but it had like an 80-minute clip at the end of a piano burning, and I'm like, I'm not gonna come back to this often as a whole experience. Like, I get it. It's too, yeah. It's, I don't know. It didn't bang enough, basically.
Yeah.
This, I feel like it bangs, and it's weird, and it's literally okay. The first track intro, you hear this like thumping bass, like a flipping T-Rex from Jurassic Park is coming. And then he just starts rapping over that. And it happens so many times in this album. There'll be like a rusty gate. And you're like, oh, this spooky. Oh, this scary. And it would just start rapping over it. I'm like, how are you rapping? How is this happening?
I'm so glad you made me listen to this album. Like, you showed it to me when it first came out around that time. And like, you padded it with like, it's a horror movie film or feel. And I don't like roller coasters and I don't like horror films, but it surprised me, yo. Like, the dark tones bang, and it just reminded me of like old school Tyler stuff.
And I love how like all the little stories he manages to tell, lots of mini stories, like Check the Lock, and it's just about this gangster who's just constantly paranoid, going into his mind, and he raps from his perspective about being that paranoid. And so many of these songs have these groovy bass lines that just make them sort of head nodding and catchy, and parts like Pain Every Day, where they just take all these different things, these haunting heavy bells and this sort of scattered glitchy racy production, and all of a sudden these like string sections come in and David's rapping over them as well, and I'm just like, what's happening? This is crazy.
The production is levels, like the thought that's gone into it.
It's so creative, very unique, and I just love what they've done. The reason it's not higher up on the list, I'd say, is just because there are just a couple of tracks where I'm like, I don't get what they're doing here. They're sort of, it's sort of dragging on a bit. It's not as exciting as the other tracks. Number 8, I have Sin Miedo by Kali Uchis. Kali Uchis is a Colombian / American singer. The album's mostly in Spanish. I don't listen to that much Spanish music.
Isn't it all in Spanish?
It's mostly in Spanish, yeah. It's mostly in Spanish. I really liked her debut album, Isolation, which was pretty much all in English. And the feel of this is a lot different to that one. This is a lot dreamier, though she does have like a pillowy aesthetic. This takes it and runs with it, but she also takes sounds from Latin pop, a lot of Latin soul, a lot of boleros,
like straight up like Narcos and like James Bond feels.
There's a couple of tracks that definitely do feel like that. I think it's Vaya. I'm gonna butcher all the track names. Vaya con Dios. Deep, sultry voice, and she is basically straight out of a Bond film. But it's still sort of like this blend of genres. You get reggaeton on these dreamy synths in the background, trap hi-hats as well, sort of old R&B. Party Next Door is there, although I don't feel like he adds too much, to be honest. It definitely has like an aesthetic. It definitely has a cohesive feel to it, despite all the genres she's bringing together. It's one of those albums that you can listen to anywhere.
Like it flowed nicely from one song to the other, and at the end of it, you're just like, whoa, that was a journey. I'm not sure what the journey was. Didn't know what any of it meant. But she said some stuff. I felt some stuff.
So like it's a good length. It's very in and out. And there are a couple of the reggaeton tracks that I feel aren't as good. I feel like although she's on form, I feel like the features a lot of the time take away. Like they just all come and go. A lot of the features, I feel. My
number 8 is Thundercat. It Is What It Is.
Oh.
Thundercat. It Is What It Is his 4th studio album, and it's the same as what he's done before. New age, spacey jazz, future pop kind of sound. And I didn't know this going to the album, and I'll have to do some research. This album is actually dedicated to Mac Miller, with the last track having a snippet of his voice in it as well. So like knowing that going into the album, it's about kind of coming to terms with loss. Knowing that it does give some explanation to some of the sound choices he's made. The song I Love Louise Cole. I don't know who Louise Cole is, but like this song's got this build up with a sense of importance, and like the build up is there, and then drums kick in, and then it's like fast paced.
Oh
like,
that's a madness.
And
that's
yeah,
a madness.
and then it's like the fast pace of life, and they're like, yo, let's just go on this ride, and then you've gone on this ride, and even though I hate roller coasters, I'm like, I want to go on this ride again.
What did you think of Dragon Ball Durag? I love that song. That song was so funny,
bro.
It's so catchy as well.
Well, it's a love song on the surface,
yeah,
ish, but then when you look into it deeper, like it's just like a guy with all these insecurities which you don't really see. Like it's an insecure man, like, oh, am I doing this right?
It is a pretty vulnerable album, isn't it? Yeah.
Do I need to look good while doing this? Like, he's trying all this stuff to impress a girl. Yeah. And he doesn't want to come off too strong, and it's like trying to be smooth. And yeah, it's just vulnerable, and that's great. That's a great way to put it. Like, this album is just him being vulnerable. Yeah. And it comes through. And a lot of these songs, which are like 10 to 6 for me, are albums which I think start off great, but then there's a point where they stop being great, and I can't appreciate the album fully. And this is one of those albums. Like, it gets to Dragon Ball Durag, I'm like, yes. And then it gets to like a song like How I Feel, which gives me like these Christmassy Charlie and Chocolate Factory vibes, dreamy and a bit mystical and spacey. But then after that, it's just like, it's just too chill for me. Like, the title itself, it kind of like sighs at this like kind of normalization of loss. Like, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. And then, but like, I feel like we say that just to hide our vulnerability and our actual sadness. Like, we kind of, it's like when you ask someone how they are and they say it's fine, it's just like, bro, are you okay? Like, it is what it is. But you don't know what's going on inside. And this album is like a representation of the journey I guess Thundercat has gone through. Number 7, Take Time by Giveon is number 7 for me. Not gonna lie, it was on my radar and then it went off my radar, and I listened to other stuff and I thought some other albums deserved a spot over Giveon Take Time. But the more I tried to dissect and analyze other albums, I realized how much I liked Take Time. I guess to summarize, it's just an easy album to pick up. I think it's a good narrative. I love his voice. The kind of like gravelly undertones of his voice are just madness, and it's definitely the highlight of the album. And it's a great length. Oh my god, it's an amazing length. It's under 10 songs long. Just a quick pick up, listen to, bang it in the car, bang it in your room while creating like content, like bang it on a walk kind of thing. Do it here, do it there, do it everywhere. Scatter all over the house. But the reason why it's not any higher is because like it is very surface level lyricism. It doesn't get any deeper. But like for what it is in terms of like my checklist of like narrative, do I like the sound? Do I appreciate the artist? Yeah. Like it scores high, and yeah, for that reason it's number 7.
So for number 7 I have Dreaming of David by Ryan Beatty. So this album, it's sort of like an alt R&B album. He's probably best known for sort of collaborating with Brockhampton on choruses on Bleach and Sugar.
And that really comes through in the album.
It reminded me a lot of Blonde actually when I listened to it, which is, I know, a big thing to say because I do love Blonde. The way he plays with pitch shifting in this album is really interesting to me, to the point where I think it's really brave because he has a beautiful voice and he modulates and pitch shifts and pitches up and pitches down on every song, to the point where there's no...
He modulates the hell out of his voice.
Yeah, like every song it sounds like... I don't think there are any features on this, and you don't need to because he is his own feature. He harmonizes himself, he pitches himself down and harmonizes pitched up. When it's a song where he's trying to, sort of get this nostalgic feeling, he will have this sort of nostalgic effect on his voice that makes it sound like a harmony of children are sort of singing it back then. I think Hawkshaw is the one I'm thinking of. It's all over the place in the way he sort of approaches his vocals because he modulates them differently on every sort of song. But that sort of gives it its own identity. It does feel like you're going for this sort of dreamy, nostalgic journey. It definitely feels like a warm hug.
Feels familiar.
My number 6 is Anime, Trauma and Divorce by rapper Open Mike Eagle. This is an album...
I'm putting this face because I'm just like, why is this on your top 10?
You don't like it?
I'm gonna let you start and finish before I...
Rapper Open Mike Eagle, he's quite laid back and quite introspective and quiet. He's not exactly the most showy big rapper, and in this album at least, he is going through a divorce and sort of having like a midlife crisis, I guess. So I said the last album was all over the place because of the way he uses his sort of vocals and switches between different sort of pitches. This is all over the place because the man is all over the place. Like, it has a couple of tracks where he takes risks that are really weird, like the one where he blames the Black Mirror episode for his marriage ending. There's one song that I really like, What the Fuck is Self-Care, where he sort of dissects self-care, and he just keeps going, what the fuck is self-care? He talks about all this stuff, and he's like eating kale cubes and working out and putting lotion on and talking about his feelings and crying into his gurgling. And
what is self-care?
And he just, you can tell he's getting more frustrated with the song, and the refrain becomes more frustrated until the end it just sort of snaps, and he's like, then I pull my dreads out. I think this album is very interesting because it's like a snapshot of a man that's clearly not processed everything. Like, he's very much in the midst of everything. He's very all over the place. But I do think he still managed to bring this sort of dark humor. He has these really interesting flows and makes really interesting production choices. On their own, some of the tracks wouldn't make sense. Like the Black Mirror one, I would probably not listen to that by itself. But in the context of the album, it sort of works. And at the end, where he gets his son and him to rap on stage about going scuba diving and how it's sort of like, oh God, I'm drowning. That was sweet. Yeah. It's sweet, and it sort of sums up the whole album as well.
The reasons that you like it is why I don't like it. You think like it represents him in a state as life where he's a mess.
Yeah.
And I feel like the representation of that in the music, it's just too much in a mess for me.
The sort of messy decisions he makes, I feel like it gives it more emotional potency to this album. I feel like it's a very emotionally potent album.
It's like it's like when a performer's performing and the audience applauds it, yay!
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's still going. He's actually crying now, guys. I don't think he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I think that's beautiful in a way to show that vulnerability, even if it's not as polished as it maybe would have been if he wrote this album in a year's time.
It's a checkpoint album. Like, this is what I'm feeling at this point in time.
Yeah, I think he actually wrote it because his therapist told him to sort of process the trauma or something, and I think he just decided to put it out.
In at number 6 is Jesse Reyes, Before Love Came to Kill. Bro, this album, it's heart-wrenching. This album, the music in it's a deeper level, and Jesse's voice it's so versatile, and she's so skilled. There's something there that's keeping her there.
It's a very angsty album. She's very... Yeah,
you can feel her pain, like literally, you can feel her pain in every song. And the first track, I should have fucked your friend. The feeling of finding the one, and then finding out they're not the one, and the feeling of regret, and like, why me? Why did I have to hurt like this? And like feeling all this stuff. She's becoming a monster, and like she feels like she doesn't deserve this, but she's hooked. And her voice, god damn it, her voice is to die for. To die for.
She does have a sort of a
very... You cannot fault her. If you fault her voice, we have issues. No, we're gonna have a discussion.
It's nice. I feel like I feel like they touch it up a bit too much. I don't know. It just sounds very glossy.
This album is literally a journey of the stages of her being cheated on, and the feelings she goes through of being in shock and like, why is this happening to me? And then her unhinging, like, who has made her partner? Like, she started blaming the other person. Like, yo, who are you? Like, stepping on
is that
my
the second
territory.
track, Death or something?
Yeah.
So this is the thing. So I hear the first track and I'm like, shit's about to go down. Second track, shit is going down. There's these like really high pitched. What is it? There's like sirens. Is it synths? What are they in the background?
It's all the sounds, and like the message is like, you listen to me. You're a waste man. You don't do this to me. Like, why have you done this to me? Who this person? She's getting unhinged, and you can feel the emotion in her voice.
But the thing is, for me, after that song, I just got a bit underwhelmed. She takes a very sort of commercial sound to the album, which isn't a bad thing, but like, I feel like it smothers the rawness of the album a little bit.
I didn't feel like it was very commercial. I didn't think it was the level commercial that you're putting it out to be. The uneasy thing about this album is that there is no resolution. because you get to the end of the album and like you expect to be like, yo, I'm over with this guy kind of thing, and it's not. She's still hooked. The journey is like, I still love this person after everything they've done. Like I can't get unchained, untethered to this person, and that's so real. Coffin, the track Coffin made me laugh.
Eminem is like the perfect person for
so
this album.
Good. It's like it was like he came in. I was surprised. I was just like,
he's exactly the vibe. Angry, scorn lover.
Yeah.
He's exact. Personally, I thought his feature was okay, but like I did think of Eminem does fit perfectly into this world.
There is a point in the album where I'm just like, this should have been the end. Why you continue to go? But like up until that point, amazingness. So guys, that was part 1 of our top 10 albums of 2020 video. I hope you enjoyed. Part 2 is coming very soon.
But
until then, like, comment down below if you disagree or agree with us or feel like we're missing something out.
Yeah. If you think our opinions are shit, please tell us why.
Please tell us why. We'll try not to cry.